Hello and welcome to a brand new video. My name is Priti and today I am here to film one of my most anticipated videos of the year, and that is the mid-year book Freakout tag. It is essentially the tag in which there are a bunch of questions hurled at you and you answer them about your reading so far this year. And it's really fun because you get to answer questions like, what is your favorite book of the year so far, or what is your biggest disappointment, or like a favorite character, and like what do you look forward to reading, and all of that sort of stuff. And it's really fun to say but also like hear answers of. So if you're gonna do this, then please just put it down in the comments because I would love to be redirected to your answers, be it as just a comment or a blog post or a video, whatever it is. Yeah, that's basically that. But also, if you are a subscriber, then good job, buddy. If you are not, would you want to be? Because I am about 15 people away from hitting 3,000, and I think that it is really cool. That's just what my life is about now. That's the sort of stuff that I get happiness from, because the world is shit. Let's move on to the questions now, because I get weirded out by asking people for things. Alright, so the number one question is the best book that you've read so far this year. And I have two books for this. However, I have many more books that I think I absolutely love, which I'm going to be making another video for. So like, stay tuned for that, and it's another reason to subscribe to me. Anyway, point is, the first book that I want to talk about today is Hamnet by Maggie. This book I thought was a book that I wanted to read because it won the Women's Prize in either 2019 or 2020. And I heard mixed things about this because some of my friends really liked it, some of them were just like, it's okay, I really didn't like it. So I was like, whatever. But I read it and I was mesmerized. Like, holy shit. Essentially, we are following Shakespeare's family. Like, so Shakespeare is a person who is important in this because we are following his family, but he is not named at all. Like, the focus is on the family, and like his wife and his kids and like all of that sort of stuff. So he's just named as like the husband or the brother or like the father or whatever. He's not like actually named. And essentially we follow their lives and a very critical thing that happened in their lives and what sort of led up to it, and then the consequences after. And I loved it. I just thought the writing was absolutely amazing. I loved how Maggie O'Farrell brought in this sort of magic to not just her writing but the characters and the world and like their lives as well. I just thought that it was really well done. And the second book that is in like loggerheads for the best book so far of the year for me is If Beale Street Could Talk by James Baldwin, because holy shit, this man can write. This book totally had me on a chokehold. Like, I was like, what? In under 200 pages, this man spoke about relationships, love, police brutality, racism, and like family bonds, and so much more. I was just like, what is happening? How is this so good? Essentially, we are following Fonny and Tish, who are two people who are in love in New York in like the 60s or 70s or 80s. I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. This could legit happen at any point of time. But we are following them because Fonny is in jail and Tish is pregnant with his child, and Fonny is in jail for a crime that he did not commit. So we are following this sort of story and the families and all of that sort of stuff, and I was just like blown away by the story. I also heard this as an audiobook as well as I read it, and it was just an amazing journey, an amazing experience. The audiobook is narrated by Barney Turpin, and just thought that it was a phenomenal job. So like, if you are gonna read the book, I would also definitely recommend the audiobook. But like, wow, blew me away. If there's one book that I would make you read is If Beale Street Could Talk, because like, so good. I also really want to watch the movie, which I've heard is absolutely amazing, which I do plan to do. So the next question is the best sequel that you've read so far this year. And usually I do not have like an answer for this, but this year I've been reading a lot of series. One of them being the Wayward Children series. So I read the entire series as a whole, like from book number 1 to 7. And I did this in a vlog. And essentially, the Wayward Children series is a series that's about these children who go through these magical doors that lead them to like these magical worlds. And we are following them either in those magical worlds or when they have come back from these magical worlds and want to sort of go back but don't know how to. And they are in this school called Eleanor West's School for Wayward Children. And yeah, the book that I really enjoyed in this was book number 4, which is In an Absent Dream. I just really liked the story. The world was very logical, which is what I really liked. Apparently I'm a logical person, and that those sort of worlds just really like do it for me. And like I just liked the way that the story was focused on the characters and not the adventure, but like the aftermath and how they dealt with it. And like I just liked the character relationships and everything, and I just thought that like it was a very like me for me story. So yeah, that was my favorite. And another series that I read that I've absolutely loved is of course the Heartstopper series. This just got made into a Netflix series which I haven't watched yet, but my favorite of like the 4 volumes that are out so far is volume number 3. I just really loved the way the characters from the first 2 volumes, they sort of like came together and like were having a goodish time. They were in Paris, and like I liked how all of them sort of like came together in this one. So yeah, this one made me really happy and I really enjoyed it. So Heartstopper Volume 3. The next question is a new release that you haven't read yet but really want to, and I have again a lot of answers for this, but I will keep it short. So one is Kaikeyi by Vaishnavi Patel. This is essentially the story of Queen Kaikeyi, who we see in the epic of the Ramayana, which is an Indian epic. And this is an epic that I have like read and been a part of many a times in my life. And I just really think that like Kaikeyi as a character who is like labeled as the evil queen, I just would love to know what her story is, and like I would love to know what Vaishnavi Patel thinks of like this character, and like then like talks about the Ramayana through her, I think. Another one is a book by Michael Schur, which is called How to Be Perfect. Now Michael Schur has like, I mean, if you love The Office or Brooklyn Nine-Nine or Parks and Rec or of course The Good Place, then it is all done by Michael Schur. And while he was doing The Good Place, he started thinking a lot about like philosophy and ethics and all of that sort of stuff. So this is a book about basically like his thoughts on like great big questions of like life today and like all of that sort of stuff, and I just think that like it's really going to be super fun to read. And the third one is Translating Myself and Others by Jhumpa Lahiri. Jhumpa Lahiri, of course, is my queen. I absolutely love her. I have like an entire like thing, like all of these books here are dedicated to her. I have like I just love her, and I want to read anything that is written by her, and this is I think her non-fiction book about like translating herself and others, so I will read it. The next question is your most anticipated read for the second half of the year, and again I have so many, but I think number 1 is Babel by R.F. Kuang, and I know a lot of people have been saying this, but this is definitely a book that I think is super interesting because it is written from R.F. Kuang's own perspective of having to like be in Oxford and the sort of like racism etc. that she faced in academia. So it's a dark academia book, but it's also about translation, and I love translations. Like I love it. So I would love to see what she has to say and how she goes about it. I have not read the Poppy War trilogy, which she is best known for, but like I know that she does like really amazing, interesting characters, which are very gray and just like I think she does characters really well. So I'm just really looking forward to reading that one. Another one is Less is Lost, which by Andrew Sean Greer. This is like a sequel to Less, which is a character who I absolutely loved, and a book that I really loved. And he's coming out with a sequel of Less. Less is essentially like this washed up sort of like author, and in Less, the book, he goes on this like sort of world tour of sorts for various reasons, and I just really want to read this book. And the next one is called, I think, Stone Blind, and this is a book by Natalie Haynes about Medusa. And I'm just always been really fascinated by Medusa as a character, or like a character in the myths. And I would just love to see like a book about her. So yeah, I'm excited for those books. Next is your biggest disappointment, and I think my biggest disappointment was The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. This is a book that I was really looking forward to reading because, I don't know, I just thought it sounded really interesting. It's about this girl who goes to meet her brother in Paris, but like he's missing, and then like there are things feel off about like the apartment that he sort of lives in, and she's like trying to find him and all of that sort of stuff. But like the characters were just dumb. I just understood what was happening. It was just like she said, for example, she said that like she doesn't really trust people, but then she went and like blindly trusted someone, and I was just like, why? What? Okay. It was infuriating, and I got really pissed off. And I heard really good things about Lucy Foley earlier. I hadn't read any of her books, so I was like, oh, I'm really looking forward to this. And then I was like, so yeah, that was my biggest disappointment, I think, so far this year. Though I've had quite a few, so. Next is your biggest surprise, and I think my biggest surprise this year was Indian Summer by Alex Von something. I really enjoyed this book, and it was a non-fiction history book about the Indian partition, and essentially this one focuses on the summer right before the partition of India, Pakistan, and then like subsequently Bangladesh, and the key players in this and what they were doing at this point of time and how it sort of like affected the partition. And the key players in this, of course, are Mahatma Gandhi, Nehru, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and the Mountbattens, so like Louis Mountbatten and Edwina Mountbatten. And I just thought that this was such an amazingly done book because, yes, there was like salaciousness and all of that sort of stuff, but this was the first book that I read that was a non-fiction history book that was very character focused. Like, I was just like, what? Like, usually it's just like, and then this happened, and then that happened, and then this happened, and then that happened. But this was like, let me tell you about these people. And I was like, interesting. That's like, okay, you're painting a picture of their character to me, and I like this. So I just thought that it was really well written as well. Like, it was just really easy to read, and I just really enjoyed it. So like, yeah, well done, Alex Von whatever. Next is favorite author, new or like a debut, and I think for this I'm gonna say Natasha Brown, because I read this book called Assembly by her and I was shooketh to my core. This is about like a little more than 100 pages, and it talks about this girl who's black, who's basically going to her boyfriend's house, and he's white and he comes from privilege and all of that sort of stuff, and she's going through something personally, but like again, how could she talk about so many different things in like 100 and so pages? Like, I was like, what is happening? It was so beautiful and amazing and well written and like thought-provoking, and like I was like, ma'am, please write more and write more. Like, I would like for it to be more than 100-ish pages. I was just like, okay, this babe I'm gonna read. And the second one is a translation actually. It's a Korean translation, so I read Shoko Smile by Choi Un-young, and I was so taken by it. Like, these are really sad stories. So it's a collection of short stories of various people in Korea, and we get to hear about their lives, but their lives are also sort of connected to like some political or social thing. So we get to learn more about Korea and what was happening and all of that sort of stuff. But I was like, wow, to this collection. It is beautifully written, just slice of life sort of stuff. It reminded me a lot of Jhumpa. I know I'm just throwing it there because like I don't know, but I just loved it. I just thought that it was absolutely brilliant, and like yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading more books translated by her because she writes only in Korean. So like please, come on, you can do this. Okay, next question is your fictional crush. Now, I don't really know, but I also kind of know because I read this book called The Royals Next Door, and this is basically about this girl who has like basically like fictional Harry and Meghan move across, and she has like this sort of relationship with the bodyguard whose name is Harrison. Now Harrison is this big, tall, burly British dude full of tattoos, but he's also like just really nice and sweet to the girl, and like he bakes and cooks, and I'm just like, yes, could I get a sexy man, like sexy, tall, hunky British man with tattoos who bakes? Cause like, yes, please. That's basically what I wanted. It was a little caricaturey, but like I was like, it's fine. Just anyone who can bake and who is like British and tall and like, ooh, you know what I mean? Yeah, that was that. Next question is your favorite character. Now, I mean, I don't know about favorite character, but there is a character who I read of recently in this book called The Queer Principles of Kit Young, I think, Kit Webb. And I really liked him, and his name is Percy. He's basically like this aristocrat duke's son, and he's trying to rob his father. So he goes to this highwayman, this ex-highwayman, and I just really liked Percy's character. He's like really like self-assured, and he knows he's like really good looking, and like he's just like, yeah, I know, but like he's super sarcastic and like witty, and like I don't know, he's just like a fun person. And I listened to the audiobook on Scribd as well, like while I was reading it, and I just had a really fun time like listening to his banter with various people. He was just a sweet fun guy who was also like a badass, so I was like, yeah, Percy, go for it. Next is a book that made you cry, and I feel like if you follow GK Reads, you will think that I am literally copying her answer like word from word, but it is true. I read The Swimmers by Julie Otsuka, and I was like, in the end, I put the book down and I was just sobbing, like full-blown tears rolling down my face, just like it was a waterfall, not even like small little like this thing. It was just like full-blown sobbing, and I don't even know why. Like it wasn't like this huge like moment or like whatever, but like I don't know, it just got to me. Essentially, we are following in the first two chapters these collection of people who go swimming in like this underground swimming pool of sorts, and there's like this crack that starts developing in the swimming pool, and we get to hear like their various perspectives on it, and I just really enjoyed that. And the next is about this woman who sort of has like dementia or Alzheimer's, and she's slowly losing her memory, so we get the perspective of her through her daughter and like a bunch of other things and her own perspective, and it's just beautiful and amazing, and I loved it, and like just wow, amazing. Next is a book that made you happy, and I think for this I'm gonna say Shit Cassandra Saw by Gwen E. Kirby. This is again a collection of short stories or short fiction that is very feminist and very witty and very full of rage, I would like to say, and I loved that. Especially in today's world, I feel like it was just like it was amazing. There were these like stories that were just so smartly written that it made me happy, but also there were these stories of like literally women biting men's heads off because there was like this disease that was spread that like made women like sort of like cockroaches. I don't know, it was weird, but I was like, yes, bite their head off, just blast a man's head off because he's looking at you weirdly. Like, I absolutely loved it. It was so cool, and it just made me happy that like there's a fictional world where this exists. So I don't know what to tell you, but like I really enjoyed it. So yeah. The next question is the most beautiful book that you have bought or received this year. And I I don't know if you've noticed, but I've not really been holding up books in like this thing because I am too lazy to find them right now. I don't know where anything is because like right now everything behind me looks like pretty, but like everything else is nuts. I'm just gonna show you the covers right here. So I think one is Verge by Lydia something something. I just really liked the cover of this and I pretty much bought it because of that, apart from the weird sounding like thing. Another one is Love in the Times of Cholera. Now I will show you the clip of this, but like I loved the cover. Like I fell in love with the cover, but the font inside atrocious, so bad. But I love the cover so much that I was like, okay, I'll just buy it. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to deal with that. Yeah, those are the ones that I can think of right now. For the next question though, I will be holding up the books because the next question is what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And the first one is Tomb of Sand. This one I am slightly like this much in, and then I got COVID so I kept it down because my brain couldn't handle it. So yeah, so this is one. I'm really enjoying this one, by the way. I mean, at least I was. And then I'm gonna have to get back to it, but like this won the International Booker Prize, which is amazing, and I just like absolutely love it. It's about this granny and like a bunch of things that are happening. I don't quite know, but like Google it and you will find out. The other one is this other translated book called The Master and Margarita by Mikhail Bulgakov. This is a book that I've been putting off forever. And I have 21 other books that I said that I will get to in a video, but like I don't know if that's happening. But this is one of them that I definitely want to make sure that I get to ASAP because I think it sounds amazing. It's basically, well, it involves a cat and a prostitute, a talking cat who loves vodka, and then a prostitute and the devil come to Moscow to wreak havoc. Sounds amazing. Also Daniel Radcliffe's favorite book. So and another one is this one, which is Persuasion by Jane Austen. I don't know if you saw the very lovely trailer featuring Dakota Johnson and Henry Golding, two of my crushes, but it looked amazing and I want to read the book because I have not, in order to understand what that thing is going to be. So yeah, those are the 3 books that I definitely want to read. Of course, there are going to be many more that I do read in the upcoming half of the year. So that is all for now. If you liked this video, of course, give it a big thumbs up. Tell me your answers. Also, if you liked like generally my content, I would love for you to subscribe. That would be so lovely of you. That's all. Stay safe, be happy as much as you can because the world's shitty, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!